hardwood. I'm gonna pick up the wood.
And there's a lot of hardwood.
I need some hardwood. I need some hardwood.
Welcome back to D-Dub. Welcome back to another video. Today I just want to talk about Animal Crossing New Horizons. This game is finally here, we've finally seen it, and there's just been so much that we've seen already. And even though it doesn't seem like a lot, and we're still waiting for the game, and it's been pushed back, in the treehouse footage and just the trailer alone, we've already seen so many things that are going to be in this game. It's just amazing so far. So I didn't know what kind of video really to make. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like a top 10 this, a 5 new features of this. So I've just kind of made a list, and I'm just really excited about this game. I just want to make a video and go through all the new things that we've seen in this, just from the gameplay footage alone and the trailer and all the different things that they showed us and told us about in the treehouse footage.
So without further ado, let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, smash the like button, baseball bat the bell, and gently tap the subscribe button so that you can see more videos from D-Dub.
So as I said, I didn't know what to do with this video, didn't know where to start, didn't know if I was just going to compile a list or just go through the different things that I've seen. I've been watching the treehouse footage, I've watched it a couple times now, and there's just so many different things to talk about, like, you know, even the news from yesterday, the confirmation of Mr. Resetti basically not having his traditional role, but they've took that from him, you know, they've essentially fired him and given him a new job. So with there being autosaves, which is brand new to Animal Crossing, we've never had autosaves before, the new addition of autosaves, it's very different that they would take Mr. Resetti's job and just do traditional saves, but I know at the same time, they've said that they've given him a new job. I think that's going to be really interesting just because of the fact that they know how important it is to fans and to the franchise, just how important Mr. Resetti actually is. Because looking at this franchise now, since they've been working on the first one, I mean, you know, this is a 22, 23, 24-year-old franchise going on. So they wouldn't just take him out if it wasn't for good reason. So with there being no autosaves, I'm wondering what his new job might actually be. If they've also taken away cloud saves and there's no time travel, what could his role be? I have a feeling that they're going to incorporate him in some actually amazing new way that none of us would really think of. And I think just in general, this game is going to be a lot bigger of a scale than what we've seen from previous Animal Crossings, and way bigger than we actually think it's going to be. So with the initial unveiling of this being an island, that seemed kind of weird to me. I think that seemed kind of weird to all of us for about that first half hour to hour before we actually started seeing the treehouse footage from this game. So I think we're looking at a game here that has a way bigger scope than what any of us can actually think. I think there's going to be several islands as well as a mainland. I'm thinking along with the crafting and all the collecting of materials and the new Nook phone, which is awesome by the way, with the crafting and everything. This is going to be really cool. I think the vastness of this game is kind of further than any of our comprehensions actually are. Like, the direction I'm going with this is with the mainland, possibly, like I'm saying, having several islands with a mainland where maybe your island is capable of having mostly everything, all the stores, maybe a town hall, but maybe there is no town hall. Maybe there isn't a town hall at all in the game. But chances are there probably is, and there's probably a whole bunch of different stores. There's probably several different stores that you can build instead of building and tearing down. They'll probably all end up standing, and we're probably going to see new roles from different characters that we haven't seen before in order to basically just solidify this franchise one step, one generation further. And what I mean by that is that I think we're going to see new characters in new roles that we would have never thought possible until we actually get to play this game and actually start to learn about it and see just what they've done with this game. The game is going to be huge, I think. I think with the several different islands, you will possibly be able to build up islands and maybe even move from them while leaving behind like a leadership role of some sort where you have these several islands that you either build up alongside with the possibility of other players and like different people that you play with that maybe you can appoint, or just with the general multiplayer that maybe everybody can get an island, and that maybe there's 5 or 6 or even 8 different islands that everybody can kind of build up from scratch, from nothing, crafting along the way, getting all the different recipes, using your Nook phone, and basically building up these different islands or cities, if you will, between the different players, whether they're online or, like I said, multiplayer. And I think like with New Leaf, with the Happy Home Academy, and with the whole rating system of how you have just your house set up, I get the feeling that they're going to take this a huge leap forward, in that your whole town or your whole sector, or if, like I'm saying, if there's several islands, your whole island is graded in the way that it operates, in its cleanliness and its overall look and its style and the different groupings of furniture and fences and stuff like that are concerned, because they've always gone with the different sets of furniture and clothes and stuff like that that match up and kind of give you, you know, brownie points. So what if there's several islands and you either just have a hand in running your own island personally, or you kind of bob and weave and hop around from island to island, and you have a stake in how each of these turns out, and they each have their own villagers and their own sort of economy and feel to them, their own ecosystem. It's just a thought, but I think Nintendo might actually be doing something like that, and there might be more islands than just what we think or what we've seen. And I just think that that could be pretty awesome if there was also a mainland that kind of tied into that, to where it's almost like you're playing several different games at once, instead of back in the day, or like with New Leaf, where if you wanted a new town, you basically had to get another cartridge, and you could only add a new player to that town, and you couldn't change anything about that. Something just tells me that that's the direction that we're heading in with this game. But that's just me. And then it's also weird that there's no cloud saves because of item manipulation and the fact that they don't want us to be time traveling and exploiting the game. But this isn't a competitive game. This isn't a leaderboard game. So it's kind of weird that they want to babysit us like that and put up these safeguards for us to not be able to get around, when they know for a fact that time traveling is just something some people choose to do, some people choose not to do. Some people choose to exploit games like New Leaf to infinity
and beyond.
And others choose to just time travel here and there. I'm guilty. I've time traveled before. Please don't tell anyone. Please don't tell the Nintendo ninjas. What was... No. My clock was just slow. That's all it was. And this is awesome. We have new paths. From the trailer, they were pretty basic, but there's going to be new designs. I think there's going to be new patterns, new angles, new blueprints for them. I guess the same as recipes, to where you can have different angled paths in mosaics and stuff like that. And I think this is also going to cross over to shoes and clothes as well. And I think the customization on those items are going to be almost endless. I just have a feeling that they're going to put so much into it that it's just going to be over the top insane in just the sheer volume and different actual outcomes of items in the amount of customization that you can do. I think it's going to be staggering, to say the least. And we know that Isabelle is in the game, but is she the mayor? Is she like the overseer? Are you going to be partners with her? If we have multiple islands, which I've given this some thought, I think that with the little plane bay that's there, and the fact that you'll be on this charter boat plane coming in, and presumably leaving from it, because there is a dock, I do think there's going to be separate islands with separate tasks. But I'm having trouble, I guess, gelling that idea together with what the overall point would be, and I guess the overall goal in mind. But I can sort of picture it in my head. I just can't put it into words exactly. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments down below what you think about that, if you have anything further to add to that thought.
So anyways, yeah.
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
We also have multiplayer, and not just the traditional multiplayer, but we have up to 8 people. So that's pretty cool. That's new. That's exciting. That's hip. You know, 2 people each grabbing a Joy-Con and one being the leader. I've never personally been one to use something like that.
Even with it being incorporated into the game, I don't really think I would sit there with somebody else and play it with them, with me being the leader and then telling them to follow me. Or if I run over here, they pretty much have to follow me, and because they're on the same screen. So it'd be kind of weird to pull my axe out and it makes them pull their axe out, and then we have to run over to these trees because I'm doing that. Now, I'm curious to see what the difference might be if you're playing locally with 2 different systems, because that in and of itself, you have your own screen, so you shouldn't be tied to the other player being the leader, but we'll have to see how that goes. You can also collect clams, which is kind of weird that the air bubbles come out from the sand and that they are used for fishing bait, but that also makes sense. So these clams in different recipes are going to be fish bait that you are going to attach to your pole for fishing, which I'm sure they've added hundreds of different new fish, and for different times of the day. It makes sense sense of a dollar making sense previously. But it does make sense because in the trailer we can see that there's a way bigger emphasis on an actual day-night cycle. Like, there actually is dusk and there actually is dawn, and there's actually all the in-between times from early morning to overhead noon, high noon, sun in the middle of the sky, versus late afternoon to early evening with the sun setting, the cloud coverage. So it seems like they've really gone way further than what we've had before in terms of an actual weather engine and timing of weather and how that affects the day and the different times of day actually having meaning. So I think things like fish and bug collecting is going to be way more strategic in terms of getting past that initial 50% that you collect and trying to actually complete your encyclopedia, because you're going to have to pay attention to what times of the day they come out. And we have things like wind, which means breeze, along with rain. I think that's definitely going to incorporate into the game at what times you go out and collect bugs and stuff like that. I think once you actually maybe see different bugs, you'll have the information available, or maybe you'll craft different like handbooks, kind of like scouts, I guess, where you might go and seek information first and do a little bit of eyesight watching before you actually go and set out and finish catching everything. Like, I think there's going to be a little bit of a level gap or a skill gap, I guess you would say. Well, more of a time gap, as in just in general, the more hundreds of hours you play, the more things you get, whether it's bugs, fish, whatever the case.
But that 100 hours is in danger because there's no cloud saves.
So that's a bummer. But I have a feeling that there's going to be other places, other islands with different stores, maybe a big city, maybe a huge city, or a huge city mainland where you go there and you find Isabelle, or maybe you go there and it's basically like New Leaf, where there's all the old stores and stuff that you've built up. Maybe there's a way to take over previous information from an older game and have some of these things correlate to your new game. Probably not. I'm sure they're going to do something dumb with the phone app though. What do you guys think? And it's definitely cool that they added the Nook phone in my previous video that I made about the top 10 things that I wanted to see in the new Animal Crossing. It was new things to get with the times, to not replicate where we currently are as a society, but just something in general, like what I mentioned in that video, was the use of a cell phone. So instead of pulling out a megaphone and hollering, or sending a letter to somebody that lives right next door to you, which never made much sense to me, just pulling out a phone, being able to call them, maybe even FaceTime, where they're across the island or the town, and you can actually talk to them in FaceTime and actually see them, or just even be able to just text message them. That made a lot more sense to me. But you're using that cell phone to store your recipes, to store all your crafting ideas, to store all your crafting lists and all your crafts in general, and to go through your Nook Miles, which
Those are new. Those are cool. Those are hip.
you get the Nook Miles from doing menial tasks, and they actually are basically pennies that gather up to do something more meaningful and actually give it a reason to do those tasks to begin with. Or not even a reason to, but it's just that extra 2%, you know, when you swipe your card at the gas station, or when you travel on airplane a million miles and they give you $5 off your next flight. Because they're so nice. And these Nook Miles are going to be so nice. Nook Miles, Nook Points, whatever they're called. And it's weird that the phone is the Nook phone. It's like the Nookie phone.
I did it all for the nookie. Come on, the nookie. Come on. So you can take that nookie. So tell time not to stick it up a year. Stick it up a year. Stick it up a year. Stick it up a
So crafting stuff is pretty cool. Pocketing trees, that's a thing. It's pretty cool that we can uproot full trees and put them in our pockets. We got mushrooms, a crafting bench, a toolbox, and this game is all full of goodies. Like, I wonder what kind of mini games they're going to have. You're going to be able to do this massive 8-player multiplayer, massive 8-person multiplayer. What kind of mini games are you going to be able to have? I think in my other video I said if you get on the boat and then that brings you to these different areas where if you were on an island, it's funny how these previous things, even if we didn't get an island in this new game, it's almost like some of those previous things a lot of us asked for. And I've watched many top 10, top 5, what I want to see in the next Animal Crossing game videos. And it's weird how some of those things that we've asked for would correlate whether we got this island or not. And since we are getting an island, it's kind of weird how they do end up correlating to that. So like I said in that previous video, was that like when you go and check out basically the different houses, when you go into the back of the town in New Leaf and you go and check out the different houses in New Leaf when you're on the island, and you basically go and do the mini games where instead of just going to the same sunny island, you would go to these different islands for different mini games that would give you different points or different variations on the games or amount of players to it, because I figured multiplayer was going to be a thing where instead of it just being the same old island, you would go to these different islands. They would have different mini games incorporated with different weather. So even though you were not on an island, instead of it always being sunny, you would go to the snowy one and you would roll the biggest snowball, or you would race to roll a bunch of snowballs and put them in a little goal area or something like that. I forgot what I was even talking about. So, yeah, I'm not even sure what I was just about to say. But yeah, I have the feeling that this multiplayer is going to be this kind of massive thing. I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm just really looking forward to this game. How about you guys? What do you guys think? I mean, you just look at the trees moving in the wind, and I just can't wait to just play this game kind of outside, sitting in the sun, put some music on the little radio, hanging outside, and I have a couch on my porch, so I'll be laying on the couch because I can actually put my furniture outside in the real world instead of just being able to put it in my pocket or in my house. And lo and behold, in Animal Crossing New Horizons, you can put your furniture outside. That's what I wanted. That's what you wanted. I think that's what we all wanted. Damn it, they gave it to us. Go Nintendo. But yeah, I don't have much more to say on this one, so
How you guys feeling about this game? You pumped for it? You not pumped for it? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button if you like Animal Crossing New Horizons. Do you hate the look of this game? And why? Why don't you like this game? What don't you like about it? Oh, you do like? Okay, well, if you do like that. Alright, well, maybe that thing's not so good, but, you know, if you do love it, or even if you don't like it. If you do like it, but you don't love it, still, let me know in the comments what you're hyped for about this game. And if you're one of the people that just doesn't get Animal Crossing, you don't
have to type in the comment that Animal Crossing is weird and that you never understood it and it's just kind of a stupid game and you don't get what the hype is about it and you don't get the people that play it. That's fine. You won't ever get it, and you don't need to, and we don't ask you to get it. I don't get why you'd rather play Call of Duty, but hey, that's just me. Personally, in my younger years, I would much rather play Call of Duty than Animal Crossing. Well, maybe as a teenager, when I was 8, I probably would have rather played Animal Crossing. But here I am, almost mid-30s, and I would rather play Animal Crossing than Call of Duty. So if you agree with me on that point, hit the like button. If you're new here, subscribe. I have been D-Dub. I will catch you guys in another video. Have a very good Horizon-y day.
I need some hardwood.